What's good, everybody? Welcome to another video. Excited. I'm about to reboot season 5. Okay, we got a lot to do. We got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to go over. We're not going to be going over all of it in this video because this is the reboot of season 5, and we are starting with the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers, and they are getting ready to have the wide receivers training camp. So, guys, welcome to the campus of Coastal Carolina, and we are going to do this wide receiver training camp. So, I'm going to talk with you guys briefly about why it is important to keep a log, to have a roster, a detailed roster with all of your players, their names, their numbers, their positions, what their weight is, what their 40 time is. And if you're going to be using some of the specialized rules that you're going to be seeing in the new Fat8 manual, you're going to need to know what their leadership value or what their morale value is in the event one of your guys gets rattled and coach have to pull him out the game. We're not going to get into that right now. We'll get into that much later because I got a whole new series of how to play Fat8 football coming when the manual is completed. For the time being, we are getting ready to get into this training camp. All right, so the Chanticleers is new. Coastal Carolina is new to the Fat8 conference, and I have not started tweaking the team yet. I have only had an opportunity to tweak the wide receiving core, which you see right here. So starting from right to left, okay, we got James Fontaine, okay. He is coming in at 4.1 grams. I am going to talk with you guys about the APW weighting system because the APW standard that we have in place is extremely important. We'll talk about that after I kind of get things going. I want to just kind of get moving. Okay. Next is Brad Daniels. Then in the middle is Andrew Clark. Brad Daniels is coming in at 4.1 grams as well. Andrew Clark is coming in at 4 grams even, okay? Mike Lazinski here, okay? Mike Lazinski is coming in at 3.8 grams, all right? And Ken Morris is coming in at 4.3 grams. So Ken Morris, the last guy here on the left, he is the largest of the wide receivers at the moment. Now, before I jump into this quick training camp, I want to explain why APW is so important. So in the Fat8 conference, APW, actual player weight, is a weighting scale system that we have in place that gives you the correct scale for players at different positions. Seeing as how in actual football, players don't all have the same weight. So in the Fat8 conference, players don't all have the same weight. So there is a scale that is in the Fat8 manual. There is a scale that gives you a range of weights that you can utilize at each position. The only standing rule is that you do not make everybody the same weight at each position. They all have to be different weights that you can choose within that range. Why is that important? Well, it's important because it allows you to have matchups. That is the same reason that the 40 time is so important, and as you're going to see, because they're going to be doing the 40 today. We keep a detailed log of what each guy's 40 time is. Why is that important? Well, in a game, if I have a wide receiver and I know that his 40 time is, say, 4.2, and he's going up against a cornerback who I won't know what his 40 time is, the coach on the other side will know because he's keeping the log, right? It's his responsibility to be able to guesstimate, right, how to get the right matchup. If I find that my receiver is faster than his cornerback, I'm going to burn him. So all of these things kind of comes into play because in the Fat8 conference, you cannot hold at the line, okay? So let's get into it. Training camp, stand by. All right, guys, so we're going to start with James Fontaine. He is coming in at 4.1 grams, and we're going to do the 40. All right, here we go. So very important that these receivers, the coaches want them to have a good time. So the standard in the Fat8 is anything between 3.3 and 4.3 seconds is pretty good. All right, so here we go. All right, so that was 3.62 seconds. All right, so not bad, not bad. Let's go to the next guy. All right, Brad Daniels. Good speed, very good speed for Brad Daniels. Wow, 3.11. That is very fast. That beats the standard, so he is definitely somebody that the coaches like. Good player, good speed. All right, moving on to Andrew Clark. He comes in at 4 grams even. Let's see how he does. We're looking for a good time for Andrew as well. Off to a good start. Andrew, very nice, very nice. That was 3.16, slightly behind Brad Daniels, but otherwise a good run. All right, so on to Mike Lazinski. Let's see how he does. Now, Mike is smaller than the other receivers. He's the smallest receiver in the receiving corps, coming in at 3.8 grams. Off to a good start. Okay, so Mike was slower than the other guys. He came in at 4.09 seconds. I was really expecting him to be faster than the other guys, being a lighter weight, but he was slower. So the coaches are definitely going to be keeping their eyes on him, checking out his progress as we go through this training camp. Okay, and their star wide receiver right now, like as I went through evaluations a couple days ago, this receiver is the one who stood out the most. This is Ken Morris. He is coming in at 4.3 grams. He is the biggest of all of the receivers, but he is also the fastest. Let's see what he does. Another excellent run, 3.15. So he came in slightly behind Brad Daniels, but for a receiver of his size, you definitely got to worry about him. That's really good speed. Okay, guys, so that is the 40 times. So I am going to be creating a more professional roster for the time being. What I have done, just so you guys can see, what I have done is I have kept a log of what their weights are, what their 40 time is, what their leadership is, what position they are, what their names and numbers are. I will be making a more professional roster, and it will be in the file section. So if you want to download the roster and print it out, you'll be able to do that. So if you're interested in the Fat8 rule system, as the manual is getting ready, you can get the roster and you can go ahead and start training your teams and start evaluating them to get them ready. The one thing that's unique about the Fat8 system is that we try all of the players are all going to be different weights. Your players are not going to all have the same weight. They're also not going to have the same speeds. So it's important for you to know your personnel. That's what the evaluations are for. So if I notice that there is a cornerback who is, stronger than one of my receivers or faster than one of my receivers, then I know that I might need to move that receiver from being the X to being the Z, or I might have to put him in the slot, right? You may have to do some unique things to ensure that he can get open. So it's important that you are able to do those matchups. Okay, so we're done with the 40, guys. So the 40, that was really good. We got some speedy receivers. So now let's move to the next evaluation, and that is going to be checking the receiver's ability to get through traffic and get in the open. So we're going to run through the blasters. Okay, guys, this is one of my favorite drills. We used to do this a lot when I was playing football in college. This is called the blasters, and the whole point of the blasters is to test your power. For you to be able to run through traffic, you're getting hit from the left, you're getting hit from the right. Can you fight through and get through the end without losing your momentum? It's to test your tenacity. And we want these receivers they're going to be running into traffic during the game. So they have to be able to bounce off of those hits and try to make those catches, make the hard catches. We don't want them to get caught up in the wash and not be able to get open. So here we're going to be testing the receiver's ability to take some hits and get through. So we are going to start with James Fontaine. Let's see how he does. I was evaluating him before, and he wasn't doing too well. So let's check him out. All right, so he did not make it all the way through, but he was close. He was close. Okay, so we're on to Brad Daniels. Let's see how he does. Get through. All right, so once again, they get down to the third pad and just is not able to get through it. All right, guys, so we are down to Andrew Clark. And Andrew Clark is the strongest of the five. So let's see how he does. Right through. Very good job. And that's the kind of power that we're looking for. Those cornerbacks coming up to bump and run this guy, they got to be careful because he is strong. Okay, down to Mike Lazinski. He's the smallest of the crew. He's coming in at 3.8 grams. We're going to see how he does. He had a 4.940. So, a 4.0940. So he's slower than the other wide receivers. So we're going to watch him and let's see. Very good job. He gets through, showing good power. Excellent. All right, and so we're down to the last receiver. This is Ken Morris. This is the guy that the coaches have been watching closely. He is expected to be one of their big-time playmakers in the wide receiving core. 3.1540. That's not bad, but he's coming in at 4.3 grams. So we're going to see what kind of power he can bring to the table. Easy, easy, easy. He pushes right through. All right, guys, so that is the end of the blasters drill. We've done the 40. We've done the blasters. Now, let's put some bodies on the board. All right, guys, so we're back here. Okay, so we're on the one-on-one wide receiver drill. This is in press coverage. The cornerback is 1 yard inside the receiver, giving the receiver the sideline. So we're going to see now how these boys can handle the press coverage. And remember, during the blasters drill, James Fontaine wasn't very strong. He wasn't able to get through. So we're going to see, as we're doing this evaluation, is that cornerback going to just mug him? Let's see what happens. Excellent coverage. Notice the cornerback stayed with him, forced him out of bounds. This is where that power comes into play. Okay, on to Brad Daniels. Let's see how he does. We're looking for receivers that can get open. They're going to have to deal with this press coverage. Right now, the receiver is inside shade. The cornerback is inside shade. He's taking that inside position away to try to force that receiver to the sidelines. Oh, he is forced out of bounds. What a job by that cornerback. These receivers going to have to get it together if they're going to play on this team. Okay, so we are down to Andrew Clark. Now, if you guys remember, Andrew Clark, he came in with an excellent 40 time at 3.16. Really good speed, coming in at 4 grams, but he was very powerful, pushing through the blasters. So we're going to see how well he does against this cornerback. So far, this practice cornerback, and by the way, the practice cornerback is rocking in at 4.6 grams. So he is heavier than everyone else, but you're not going to know that in a game. So you have to be able to play. We got to make some plays. So let's see what happens with forced out of bounds again. This cornerback is here to play today. Okay, down to Mike Lazinski. Let's see how he does. So far, the wide receiving core definitely have some work to do. They are not ready to play yet. They're playing against a practice cornerback, and this practice cornerback is handling them right now. So these guys got to step it up. Let's see how Mike does. Okay, he does get open, but he had a hard time. He fought off. He fought off, but that was, I think I want to see Mike go one more time. I want to see him go one more time because I feel like, he had a very difficult time getting off the line. So we're going to set Mike one more time. Let's run him. Let's run him one more time. That I like to see that again. This is a good evaluation to see what he does. Okay. So not bad, not bad. He did get off the line. Wow. So let's continue the evaluations, guys. All right, down to Ken Morris. All right, the last guy, and then we're gonna just see if these guys can get open. So the wide receivers right now are having a difficult time dealing with this cornerback. So let's see how Ken Morris do. This is their star guy. This is the guy the coaches are really watching. Good job getting open across the middle. Even though the middle position was taken away, he got to it anyway. That's what the coaches like to see. He's able to get open. Let's try one more. Not bad. Let's give it another shot. At least he's not being forced out of bounds. And he is open again. Wow. Wow. Excellent job. So this receiver is able to get open across the middle. Okay, so now we have the wide receivers in a formation, and this time the cornerbacks are going to be dropping back. Some are going to be dropping back. Some are going to be coming forward to apply pressure. So now we're going to see how these wide receivers respond to the unknown. You don't know who's going to be dropping back, and you don't know who's going to be coming after you. So let's see how they play. We got to make sure these guys can get open. So this is the goal. So let's make sure that the wide receivers are able to do what the coaches expect them to do. All right, so as we continue the evaluations, we're looking to see who can get open. All right, not bad at all. Not bad at all. Andrew Clark here in the middle is open. Excellent coverage over here. That is not bad. That's Mike Lazinski. Not bad. Okay, guys, so that is the end of today's wide receivers evaluations. We had a chance to look at some speed. We had a chance to look at some power. We had a chance to look at how they deal with being under pressure when a cornerback takes the inside position away and kind of tries to force them out of bounds. And let's see what they do. And these receivers still need some work before they are going to be ready to start playing. So the coaches are going to have to continue to do some evaluations. We did see some good things today, though. We did see some good speed. We liked the speed that we saw, and and some decent power. But right now, I don't think that we're convinced that these guys are ready to play just yet. So we'll continue to work with these guys and see how they do, and continue to evaluate. We still have a ways to go. We still got to evaluate the running backs. We have to evaluate the offensive line, and then we have to get to the defense and start evaluating the defense before these guys are going to be ready to play. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is just a little something that I like to go through when I'm getting a team ready to start playing, and it kind of gives you guys an opportunity to get familiar with the team and to see the players and see some things, see what they can do before they actually get on the board and actually, for they actually get on the field and start playing. When by the time you see them in an actual game, it makes you feel a little closer because you've seen these guys training, and now you see them in a game, and you kind of have an idea going forward, even before the game starts, based on the training that you've seen. You have an idea as to, how well you think they might perform, and they might surprise you as well. So I had a lot of fun doing this training camp for the wide receivers, and I will have an official video coming out that will teach you guys how to actually conduct a training camp, how it's done in the Fat8, what things you need to look for, and how it is. The rule system is also built in to include these things, and so it's important that that you follow the manual, follow the rule book, and of course the manual won't have rules for training camp, But what it will have is all of the components that you need to understand what APW is. APW, I cannot tell you, I can't stress how important it is that you guys follow the APW system. It is critical. It is one of the core aspects of what Fat8 football is all about, right? So Fat8 miniature college football that's a critical component, the APW system, because it is really what kind of gives all of the players their own individualized personalities, right? So you have athletes at different positions with different weights, with different sizes, with different heights, with different speeds, and all of those things kind of create a unique personality for the player. And also choosing what base you put on that player is also important, as well, based on how that player is posed. Is, you know, the way you're going to tweak that player, the way that player is going to interact with the base, you know, is going to also play a role as well. What I do is try to call it straight down the middle. And I try not to show any favoritism over one team or the next, because I'm here to just kind of facilitate and have some fun. So just as to give you an idea, man, I will be doing a training camp video. I have been getting questions about doing training camp videos and how to conduct the training camps and what things to look for in the Fat8 conference. At least the way that my father and I built the teams. Every team has their own offense and their own defense, and they're all different. No one team is the same. So the way you evaluate for one team is going to be different for another team, because the systems that the teams are running are different, right? So you have to evaluate for the kind of system that that team is going to be running, because you want to make sure that you put the right players in the right positions for that system. All right, so I'm going to stop it here. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.